Well, guys, we're finally here at the big game of the big dance. The last game of the football season is upon us. Here's who I think is going to win it. What's up, y'all? It's Quinn Steven. I'm back in another YouTube video here to preview and predict Super Bowl 60. Guys, we're one day away from the last game of the football season, not just the NFL season, for this year until the XFL starts up soon. So it's going to be Super Bowl 60. Of course, Santa Clara, California is the scene, pretty much the Bay Area, home of San Francisco 49ers. And it will be, of course, the AFC champion, the New England Patriots, going up against the NFC champions, the Seattle Seahawks. It will be the first matchup that is a monochromatic, I believe the term is, uniform, as the Seahawks are wearing all blue, and the Patriots, of course, wearing their silver helmets with the red face mask, and they're wearing white tops and white pants. Can't believe that's the first one. I thought there was another one, but nope, this is the first one in history. And of course, for those of y'all who are watching for other than football reasons, of course, we have Bad Bunny being the headliner for this year's Super Bowl halftime show presented by Apple. Of course, he's cleaned up house at the Grammys, won Album of the Year, among other things. So I'm sure he's going to put on a great show there at halftime. And of course, well, are people still even watching for the commercials like that anymore? I know it used to be a big thing not even that long ago, but really the commercials are kind of, in my opinion, I don't know if you feel the same way. If you do, comment down below, because I think the commercials have kind of fell off in quality over the last couple of years. It was kind of grasping at straws for shock value and just these grandiose commercials that I don't really think are hitting home the way they used to, but that's just me. We're still watching for them, so we'll see how those go. But yes, obviously those are big things as well. Also, of course, the Super Bowl parties, the get-togethers and things like that. So let me know in the comments as well below what you guys are making for Super Bowl Sunday. If you guys are planning on going out, if you guys plan on going to a friend's house, watching, having a good time, let me know in the comments below what y'all choose to do, because that's a huge part of Super Bowl Sunday, which is an unofficial holiday in America. It should be an official holiday if you ask me, but there's that. But of course, we're here to break down the football side of things. Let's go and get to that. The NFC champion Seahawks, the AFC champion Patriots. Of course, this is a rematch of Super Bowl 49, as I've mentioned before. And you got two teams that didn't make the playoffs last year. So it just goes to show how fortunes can change in just 1 year. So shout out to both teams on that accomplishment and that feat. But we'll break down what New England first needs to do to be able to win Super Bowl 60 and beat the Seattle Seahawks. So if you ask me, one of the big things that New England needs to do is they've got to get out to a hot start to start the game. I wouldn't even be surprised if they go and they ask for the ball first. Coming out, usually with the coin toss, most teams like to defer to the second half. Maybe they can send a message by taking the ball, going down and scoring. I'm pretty sure they've heard the talk, and it's even a point that I've regurgitated, that this is a team that, I'm not saying they don't deserve to be here, and that they haven't earned their way here, but I'll put it this way, they haven't faced the quality of opponents that Seattle has played. They haven't played a San Francisco team that won 12 games that Seattle just demolished in the second round. They haven't played a Rams team that a lot of people were saying that NFC Championship game between the Seahawks and the Rams was the real Super Bowl, right? We haven't really said the same things about the Patriots. They played a compromised Chargers team on offense, a compromised Texans team, where C.J. Stroud just had a horrible game and he was without his best receiver. And then he had a compromised Broncos team without their quarterback. So this is, facing a Seahawks team that's on full tilt on offense. They just got the Offensive Player of the Year in Jackson Smith-Njigba. Of course, going on with Sam Darnold. He had a great year in Minnesota. Of course, he's having another one in Seattle. And they have a really good running game as well. So I think that could send a huge statement. Of course, and Seattle's defense is just elite in all facets. So that would send a huge message. If New England can get out to a fast start, especially offensively, because they haven't looked the best on offense. Drake May's numbers are way down in the playoffs as opposed to the regular season. But, winning cures all. So you don't really look at that type of stuff that much. But you kind of figure at this point, this by far is the best team they played. It might bite them in the butt. So it's really going to send a huge message if the Patriots can come out and get out to a fast start. That's going to let us know early this is going to be a close game. Now, defensively, despite the fact that they've played some compromised offenses and this and that, New England's defense has been just about lights out in this postseason. And so I think they're really going to want to try to test Sam Darnold. So I think that's one of the keys. Try to test and see if he's going to be able to do the same thing that he did to the Rams just a couple weeks ago, because this is a better defense that they're playing. The Seahawks I'm talking about, much better defense they're playing in the New England Patriots. And so it's really going to make a big difference if they can be able to shut down some of that passing attack, and it's really going to have to focus more so on Kenneth Walker III. If they can do those two things, that's really going to slow down the game for Seattle. They're not going to be able to get some of the big plays that they've been getting off in the last couple of games, and that's really going to slow things down and condense them to the Patriots' liking, because that's pretty much how they've won their 3 playoff games. They've been mostly ugly games, not a ton of offense, and so that seems to be their style. That seems to be how they like it. And with a great coach like Mike Vrabel, that's going to be the goal for them. Now, when we flip things around to the Seattle side, I think they're probably going to want to do something like make the Patriots run the ball, because they haven't really shown a great ability to be able to run the ball on teams that effectively. I think they use the pass to set up the run, but they're mostly a passing team with some pretty good weapons on the outside with Kayshon Boutte and Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, the tight end. Of course, Drake May finished second in MVP voting. So despite the fact that he hasn't played great in the playoffs, we know he has the ability to be able to strike and really hurt a defense and torch a defense. And so I think the Seahawks are going to want to make them run. They're really going to want to shut a few things down in the passing games, and they're going to dare the Patriots to run. So I think that's going to be one of the keys for Seattle's defense. And then the other, I think they're going to really want to put pressure on Drake May and really see, are you that quarterback that can put up 350, 400 yards of offense on our defense with the elite secondary and the elite defensive line that Seattle has? Expect them to put a lot of pressure on Drake May to really be able to make something happen. Now, the Seahawks, to me, on offense are very prone to the big play. Not saying that they can't manufacture long offensive drives that lead in field goals and touchdowns, but at some point they're going to look for a big play over the top. Kenneth Walker can rip off a long run. You got Shaheed from the Saints. That was a good acquisition in the mid-season. He's had some big plays on kick returns and things of that nature, so the Patriots are definitely going to have to watch out for that, because they get one of those. They seem to really feed off of those. You saw how it happened in the NFC divisional game against the 49ers. That was the first play of the game, and they just never looked back. Sam Darnold didn't even have a great game that game, and he didn't have to. And so that's another thing that's scary about Seattle, is they're just so talented in so many different aspects, where, the main guy doesn't have to have a big game in order for them to have a big game. So Seattle's probably going to look for a big play or two to really feed off of, because I'm expecting the crowd to be mostly a Seattle crowd. Like I said, it's not that far from San Francisco. There's a good amount of Patriots fans, and I'm sure there'll be a good amount there at the game, but it's mostly going to be a Seattle crowd, so just look for that. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of things, we are here to make a prediction. That's what this video is about, so that's what we're about to do. I think the Seahawks are going to exact revenge for Super Bowl 49, and I think they walk away with their second Super Bowl victory in franchise history by beating New England. I'm expecting something around the score of 30-20, somewhere in the whereabouts of that. I think the Patriots are going to try to strike early, because that's going to be one of their best bets to make this a close game, and then they're going to try to grind. But I think the Seahawks are due for some big plays at some point, and at some point it's going to be exposed that they've played the tougher schedule, and that's going to be able to show that experience in those games. Pulling out a lot of those games is going to be able to show in this game. I don't know who the Super Bowl MVP is going to be. I'm not that good at making those time predictions. I know the Patriots are going to target Jackson Smith and Jigba, so it might be somebody else that comes in, steps in, and makes some big plays, and that opens things up for them, opens things up for him to make a play or two, because he's got great hands. And so that's my prediction. I think the Seahawks are going to do a really good job on defense as well, not let any big plays for New England on the other side, and really make them work for everything they get. So that's my prediction. I think the Seahawks win Super Bowl 60. But with that being said, I'm just one man. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments below about the game. Who do you have winning? By how many? Why? Let me know all those things, as well as the other things that I mentioned. Are you looking forward to the halftime show? Are you looking forward to the commercials? And are you looking forward to the parties and the snack foods and all those great things? So that being said, like, share, comment, subscribe as always. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Till next time, I'll catch you on the next one. Cool and Steve out.